Welcome to a new daily top AskReddit video. Today's topic:
people who are no longer bound by NDAs. What are some surprising secrets that you can expose? In a tech support role, one manager used to boast his team's average call times were the lowest in the company. While average call times were in the 12 to 17-minute range, his team was constantly under 10 minutes. His team was awarded multiple times and his strategy was adopted company-wide to all customer service and technical support teams, including our internal IT teams. That strategy was under a strict NDA, as we did not want to allow competitors to emulate it. When our call center would go bid on contracts, it became an awesome metric. Our customer satisfaction scores are on par, but we have call times 20 to 30% lower than our competitors. The dirty secret of the NDA that I was not allowed to disclose. The big method, quote, just hang up on people. Straight up. Find a way to say, okay, go ahead and do that and call back if it doesn't fix it. Quote, then hang up. Don't wait for confirmation. Okay, so reboot your PC and your problem should be solved. Thanks for calling. Click. Eventually they came out with more useful metrics that tracked things like first call resolution, which absolutely shredded this company, and they went out of business a year or two later. I remember reading an IT hell blog back in the late 90s or so where a guy was documenting the shitty IT call center he was working, and the manager's favorite guy there had amazing numbers because he'd just tell every caller their warranty was voided and he couldn't help them. His throughput was amazing, huge call volume, very low call times, he was the department golden boy. Thing was, he considered any action taken as voiding the warranty. Turning the PC on would void it, according to him. So naturally they put him on a fast track to management. Everything about working at a call center sounds soul-crushing. Even succeeding at one, like hitting a home run on Alcatraz. Manipulation of data to give false impressions of reliability was something I saw quite blatantly utilized with little repercussions. My company was struggling to meet on-time delivery schedules and for numerous years was as embarrassingly low as 40%. A new manager comes in and within months we are now boasting an on-time delivery rate on a brilliant 95%. Turns out all he did was change what constituted an on-time delivery. Each time we knew a product would be late, we'd notify the customer of the delay and ask them to confirm they still wanted the order. If they still wanted the product, the on-time delivery would be recorded against the new expected date as opposed to the original promised date. Company literature was being sent out boasting of our 95% on-time delivery, now amongst the highest in the industry, when in fact we were by that point meeting less than 30% of initial delivery schedule targets. It was so simple that I'm sure numerous companies are getting away with such underhand tricks. Reminds me of the airport that was constantly getting complaints about how long it took for the checked baggage to arrive at the pickup point, so they just made people walk 10 minutes further so they weren't waiting as long. Having breezed through the very front of the massive immigration queue on account of being first off the bus from the tarmac last week, only to wait 45 minutes for bags, yeah. Humans hate waiting, and love the appearance of progress almost as much as progress itself. Ah yes, the classic MBA move, change the metric not the problem. Master of Bullshit Administration, University of Phoenix. I mean, 90% of metrics management wants a completely useless bullshit if you don't use the data to actually change anything, and the chosen thresholds are arbitrary to begin with. There is a venerable book titled, How to Lie with Statistics, that points out many tricks like this. It's very easy to make bad numbers seem like good numbers simply by reframing them. The more I get involved with my buy and data analyst team, the more I learn that this is literally what they do to appease the idiots at the top. They yell and scream for a number that isn't possible, so the only option is to just shift the numbers metrics, boom, problem solved. The CEOs never give a shit if the company is actually doing well, as long as they can report out good numbers. At least, this is how it is in the private equity sphere, lol. I once got hurt at work, a concussion specifically, on camera. I have a history with concussion-like symptoms. I was 99% sure I hit my head, but I lost all memory of the accident. I ended up missing a few weeks of work due to the severity. I wasn't 100% sure if I had some sort of mental breakdown, so asked to see the video so that I could confirm my injury. They flat-out refused to let me see the video and told me there was no evidence that I hit my head. I offered to sign away any rights to sue, and I wasn't even asking them for hospital bills or paid time off. Long story short, I sued them, I won, and had to sign an NDA. I got my wages and hospital bills paid that I wasn't even asking for, and was finally able to get the video. It was a 100% no doubt head injury, complete with a loud bonking sound effect and me falling down and leaving a dent in the bulkhead that I hit. After the fact, the office staff told me that they were under orders from upper management to lie and saw they didn't see anything on the tape. They said this was standard for anyone who gets hurt, to just lie about it and let it play out in court. I obviously quit soon after. For future reference, an NDA can't prevent you from reporting a crime. Even if the original incident was an accident, the cover-up could potentially be criminal. Guy in our cargo handling warehouse was manually unloading a curtain-sided trailer filled with metal pipes. The load shifted and rolled him off the side of the trailer, pinning him to the ground. After months of sickness, he came back to work and applied for compensation. The company stated that he hadn't hurt himself at work, so he sued for compensation, and his lawyer demanded the security recordings of him having to unload a trailer on his own, totally against the company's own HSE rules. The company then claimed the security records had been overwritten, wiped, destroyed in a freak nuclear explosion, anything to get out of the court seeing them. Fortunately, my mate had a friend who worked in our, and she copied the CDs and gave them to him, so in court, when the legal representative for the company told the judge that the security recordings had been lost, mate's lawyer had the joy of standing up and telling the judge that this wasn't a problem, he had copies himself. According to insider lady in our, the company took the original CDs out into the car park and burned them. I hope the judge punished them for destruction of evidence or issued sanctions. That situation is damn near identical to what happened to me. I was working for a scrapyard that shipped out parts, and when I was loading one of the smaller trailers I stepped off it and someone hit the side of it with a forklift, which caused the trailer to pin me up against another big workpiece we had been getting ready to ship. Injury was caught on camera and had multiple witnesses. I dropped to the ground after being unpinned because I couldn't feel my legs. Brought to the hospital in an ambulance. Took time off work, and when I tried to apply for WSIB I was told that because I had back issues in the past, true but nowhere near what I ended up dealing with after this injury, they chalked it up to being a pre-existing condition. When I attempted to fight it, I lost my case due to a co-worker who witnessed the accident lying about it in a statement to WSIB, even though he watched the entire thing and even helped me during the accident. Found out it was because he was sucking the boss's asshole trying to get a promotion, so he thought by fucking me over and showing loyalty to the company he could get ahead. Lost 6 years of my life going through 2 back surgeries at 17 to 18 years old, got hooked on painkillers for a while until I pulled myself off them all on my own. Worst experience of my life and changed the entire trajectory of my life going forward. 0/10 would not recommend. About 20 years I signed an NDA with a very large record company regarding their attempts to get into selling their catalog online. Streaming, sales, etc. It was a minefield because they were still wary of pissing off high street retailers, and that's where the charts came from. These attempts were frustrated by the top-level corporate guys. One week they all went to a "What is an MP3" conference in Buenos Aires to get them up to speed. The thing is, they spent so much time partying, the only talk which seemed to stick was the scare tactics about how teens could scrape MP3s from the web, and they could be copied and redistributed easily. When they came back, every item in the catalog was ordered to be scrubbed from the web. Number 30-second previews, nothing should be audible. Not a hint of audio. Lock it all down. Put all the tapes in a chest and seal it with concrete at the bottom of the sea. That's gonna make everyone go back to CDs. Good old profitable CDs. Kinda miss the early 2000s pirate scene. The hilarious thing was, all their current releases were on a big set of shelves, and visitors were invited to take whatever they liked. I'd then take them back to my office and rip them all. My parents don't. The number of times my sister and I infected our computer via LimeWire downloads was insane. Good thing there's no way for an end user to make MP3s out of a CD. That's impossible, even for a computer. The private school I worked for was for students identified with giftedness. The owner of the school administered the giftedness test. Can you pay the tuition? You're gifted. Can your sibling pay? Them too. Your cousin, neighbor, kid you know across town. You're all gifted. My son went to a private school for the gifted. It was really a school for the financially gifted. The greatest superpower of all. I worked at a cancer charity, and half the people would order things for themselves and charge it to the charity. An eye-opening job for a 16-year-old. NDAs don't cover fraud. You should name and shame them. I've completely stopped donating to charities in the last couple years. You never know where the money is going, and usually it ends up only being 0.01 cents of every dollar actually going to the cause they supposedly champion. I'm not about that life. Edit, this blew the fuck up and I'm tired of responding to people, so here's my press release. Red Cross has had criminal charges filed against them for their misuse of money. Just look at this article about them raising $500 mil for the Haiti earthquake in 2010, and they built 6 homes. Salvation Army squanders their donations and basically a cult. A video by Illuminati covering them. Their sources are in the description. Here's a whole ass article of bad charities. Now you can sit here and tell me that I just have to do research, but I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have to visit such and such site to see if so and so charity is actually helping anyone. I shouldn't have to dig through their financials to figure out if they're even really a charity. It's a fucking minefield trying to make sure my money is actually going to where it's supposed to and not fucking ISIS. Charities should just be charities. You know there's charity watchdog sites out there, right? Really all you need to do is compare the reviews from a few different sites to decide if a charity is reputable or not. I worked for BuzzFeed and they told us to post on our AskReddit and then steal content for our articles, and my BuzzFeed NDA says I'm not allowed to tell you all that. That's no secret, rolling on the floor laughing. I thought that everyone knew this. I made a bingo card for a TV show, MasterChef, and BuzzFeed took it, replaced the logo and released it as theirs. Oh, they also blocked me on everything.